Hello everyone, welcome back to WS Cube. In our today's session, we will be discussing about stack and queue in Python. We will be discussing what is stack and what is queue in Python. We will be creating a program related to it. We will be understanding what they are. We will be taking some real life examples as well to understand them. So let's get started. Let's first understand what is stack and what is queue. Before that, if you want to become a successful data analyst and if you want to learn from our experts live, then you can call on the given number or you can fill the form that is provided in our description. Not just that, with our every batch, you will be getting 2 demo classes for free. So first of all, talking about stack. Stack is a linear data structure. Now, what is a linear data structure? Linear over here means that it goes line wise. Now, how does it goes line wise? Let's say you're climbing a stairs. You're building a stairs and at the same time you're climbing a stairs. So you have built the first stair, you climbed it. Build it second stair, you climbed it. Build it third stair, and you climbed it. So it is going line wise. That means it's a linear data structure. It follows the principle of LIFO over here. Now, what does LIFO means? LIFO means last in, first out. Last in, first out means, again, I'm taking the same example that you have climbed the first stairs and then you have climbed the second, then third. Now, what you want to do, you want to remove the third stair. For that, you will come back to second, remove the third one, right? So, third one here came at last, but when we removed we removed it for the first. Right, so it came last, but when at the time of removal, when we wanted to remove a stair, the first stair that we removed was the one that we created the last. Okay, let's understand with the help of the example over here. So I'm taking an example over here that there is this one stair, stair number 1. A person built it this stair and went on this one. After this, the same person built it another stair and went on this one. Okay, now we can see over here, this one is our first stair, this one is our second stair, this is our third stair. Right, so the last stair that was built was the third one, right? And if I want to remove it, if I want to remove something from here, then this one will be removed first, right? So that means the last one which was built will be removed first over here. That is the concept of last in, first out. While adding also the same thing will happen, that suppose if I'm adding another stair to another stair, I won't be adding the fourth stair here at the bottom. I will be adding it at the top over here. Right, so it is added in this way. This is called as our stack where everything goes in a linear format and it follows the concept of LIFO, that is last in, first out. Now there are some stack operations. We will be discussing about what are these operations. First of all is push. Push allows us to add an element on the top. You want to add, if you want to create a stair, as just I said with the help of the example, that if you want to create a stair, you will be creating it on the top and not at the bottom, right? So next is pop. Pop removes an element from the top. So pop is our LIFO method, that last element whichever came over there, it will be removed the first. Next is peek. Peek displays the last element. So whatever last element that was inserted, that means our stair number 3 or stair number 4, whichever stair was inserted at the last, that element will be displayed. Last operation is display over here. Display means it displays the whole stack. That means it displays all the 4 stairs over here. Okay. Let's understand it with the help of an example. So I'll write my 4 operations over here. Push, pop, peek, and lastly display. Push operation allows us to add an element. Suppose if we are adding an element, so that element will get added over here. That element will not get added at the bottom. It will get added over here. That means in the end, where we that means towards the end of the equation. Next is pop. Pop means if you want to remove something. So which element will be removed with this pop method? Not this one. This element will not be removed. The last element that was added to our list, that will be removed. So this element will be removed from here with the help of our pop method. Next we'll be talking about peek. Peek displays the last element. So suppose there is a list of 4 numbers over here. I'm just considering it as example. So guys, basically this stack and the queue method, this works with the lists only. So we will be understanding it with the help of a list. Suppose we have a list of these 4 numbers over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So peek method, peek operation will display this element. That means this stair it will be displaying. Okay. The last is display. Display allows us to display the whole stack over here. So if you want to display the whole list over here, you will be using the display method. Now what we will be doing, we will be creating a mini program to understand how this push, pop, peek and display method works. So guys, I'll be taking an example of a program over here to make it a little interesting. What I'll be doing, we will be taking the help of countries over here. We will be adding the country names to the list. We will use the peek, pop, push and display over those elements. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, what I need to do is I will be creating a loop over here. Why I'm creating a loop? Because after a person has executed one function, suppose they have added something to the list. Now it will instantly ask for the next function over here, that what they want to do, right? So I'll be using while true over here, that it will continuously repeat it as soon as a person tries to break it. And I'll be using a print statement over here to ask for arc push, pop, peek and display. So I'll be writing press 1 to push, press 2 to pop, press 3 to peek, press 4 to display, and lastly press 5 to exit. Because if you want to come out of the loop, then we will be needing one exit option as well. So I'll be adding one exit option as well, that press 5 to exit. And lastly, I'll close the bracket over here. Okay, now next thing is what next thing we will be asking for the user input, that choice is equals to integer input. So we'll be asking the input in integer, that enter your choice from 1 to 5. Okay. Now there is one thing over here, because we are creating it for the country. So on the top we can add, if you want to add anything over here, like you want to print them that we will be creating a mini database for countries. So yes, you can do that as well. So we can write over here mini DB for countries, for country names. Okay. Next thing that we will be doing, so here because we have asked for the user's choice, that what they want from 1 to 5. First of all, we will be using a conditional statement to go for our first condition, that is the push condition. Okay, so if I'll be using a conditional statement, that if choice is equals to 1, in that condition what happens. Now guys, we know push means push adds an element to the list, right? So I'm creating a list over here on the top, and I'll be writing it as A is equals to empty list right now. Right, to this list what we need to do, we need to add an element. This element will be added in the end. Now with the list functions, we know that our append function allows us to add an element in the end. So we will be using our append function over here. What we need to do, we need to take the input from the user, that what they want to add. Name, I'll be asking name is equals to input, enter the name of the country you want to add. After this, what we will be doing, we will be adding this name to our stack. For that, all we need to do is write over here A, that is the name of our list, dot append name, and we will print it as well. So print A. Right, this is our first choice, that our first choice is to add something in the end, and our append method allows us to add an element towards the end of the list. That's why we will be using it over here. Next is talking about the next choice, that if choice is equals to 2, that means if we have second choice, which is our pop element. So pop element allows us to pop the last element which has been added to the list. For what we will be using, we will be using our pop method from the list. For that, I'll be writing a dot pop and open close the parentheses, and I'll be printing my list again. So printing A over here. A dot pop allows us to remove the last element that has been added to the list. Talking about our next one, that is elif choice is equals to 3. So if we have third choice over here, which is our peek, that if you want to peek means to display the last element over here. So guys, we know over here that with the help of the list functions, with the help of our indexes, we can display the last member of a list, last member of a stack. So we will be doing that. So all we need to do is write print the last element of the stack is, I'll put a comma and write A. Inside the square bracket, I'll be writing the index number. So whatever, what is the index number of the last one? We don't know how many total elements are there, but we know that whatever the last element would be, its index number would be -1. So we'll be adding -1 over here. That my last element would be -1 with the help of our negative indexing. So we can do this over here. Lastly, we have elif choice number 4. Elif choice is equals to 4. 4 allows us to display all the elements inside our list. So that is very simple. All we need to do is print our whole list. So print A over here. And then last we have elif choice is equals to 5. That is our exit button. So in choice number 5, all we need to do is we need to break the loop. So to break the loop, all we need to do is write break over here. After breaking the loop, there might be a possibility that a person can write any invalid input over here. Suppose a person can write one in letters, or even they can make mistakes in anything, right? There can be that possibility. To avoid that thing to happen, what we will be doing, we will be writing else, we will print invalid input. Okay, let's run and see what happens over here when we run this program. It says MiniDB for country name. Press 1 to push. Press 2. Okay, what we will be doing, I'll be putting it inside the triple quotations and remove these quotations from here. So now if I run it, okay, after running it's coming in one line. So what I'll do, I'll put a backslash and n over here in front of each line. And now if we run it, we get it in this way. MiniDB for country names. Press 1 to push, 2 to pop, 3 to peek, 4 to display, 5 to exit. So first of all, let's add something to the list. So my country name is, enter the name of the country. Let's say India. Okay, it adds India. What if I want to, I'll be adding one more over here. Let's say I'm adding USA. Okay, added USA as well. Now you can see over here that it is adding USA in the end over here, right? Like first India came, then last element over here is USA. At the same time, if I want to pop it, I want to remove USA, all I need to do is write 2. And you can see now we are left with only India over here. Next again, I'll add one more element to it. Let's say I'll be adding Canada. Canada has been added. I want to peek. Peek means that I want to display the last element over here. That means it should display Canada according to our stack operations. So let's write 3 over here. And if I write 3 over here, the last element of the stack is Canada. That is true. And lastly, if I want to display the whole stack over here, all I need to do is press 4 over here. And if I press 4, I get both the elements that were there inside it. Press 5 to exit. So if I press 5, so my code exits over here. But now, let's say if I run it again. Okay, this time if I click on number 2. Number 2 will throw me an error that pop from empty list. That means our list is empty. What if a person makes an error like this? So what we need to do, we need to make our program foolproof, right? That it should not have any errors, any mistakes over here. So inside elif choice is equals to 2, we will be providing it with the condition that if our list is empty, then it would print something that the list is empty and no item can be popped. But if it has something, then we will be applying this pop operation over here. So I'll be providing it with the condition over here that if len of a, that is length of my list, is equals to 0, in that condition we will print there is no element in the list to be removed. So we cannot remove anything. That's why it will print that there is no element in the list to be removed. But if there is anything, in that case we will be using our else, and inside the else we will be using our this function. So now if I run it and if I write 2 directly without adding any element, it gives me there is no element in the list to be removed. So that means our program is now foolproof and it is working properly. So I hope you guys have no doubts and no questions in this program. I think it is pretty simple. It is pretty easy because we have already done this list functions in our list module. Next, we will be moving ahead with our queue in Python. Let's discuss what is queue in Python. Talking about queue over here, queue again is a linear data structure. Linear means that it follows the line-wise sequence. It goes line-wise inside. But here, queue follows the principle of FIFO. It's not FIFA, my football players. It's not FIFA. It's FIFO. So FIFO means what? FIFO means first in, first out. So suppose you are standing in a queue. Okay, let's understand it with the help of this example. That you are standing in a queue, you are at a theater and you have a long queue. You are standing in a queue and luckily you are standing in front. Okay, you are the first person in the queue. So the first ticket, and let's say there are 5 to 6 people in the queue and you are the first person over there. So you will get the first ticket, right? Or not the 6th person over there. So that is called as FIFO, that first in, first out. First, if you came first, so first you will get the ticket and first you will be leaving over here from here. Okay, this is our method of FIFO. FIFO follows these operations like queue operations. There are some queue operations that we will be discussing, that is enqueue, which adds an item to the queue. Just like how push adds an item to the queue, here also enqueue adds an item to the queue. Next is dequeue. Dequeue removes an element from the beginning of the queue. So in stack, what happened? Stack removed an element, stack popped an element from the end of the list, while here in dequeue, it removes an element from the starting of the list. At the same time, front gets the first item of the queue. So just like how peak was getting us the last item of the list, the front over here will get us the first item of the list. Last is rear. Rear gets the last item from the queue. Rear helps us get, just like how peak gets us the last item from the stack. Similarly here rear gets us the last item from the queue. So let's understand it with the help of an example over here. So I'm considering a same example over here. This is a theater. Let's understand it as a theater. We get tickets over here and there is a queue of people. So there are 5 people, let's say, in this queue. And we have number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Now here FIFO means first in first out. This person came first in the line. This person was the first person in the line. And this person will first get the ticket and will get out from here. That is our principle of FIFO. Okay. Next we will be talking about NQ, DQ, front and rear. So talking about NQ allows us to add an element to it. So when we want to add an element, this element will be getting added over here, that a new person will come inside the line. DQ elements allows us to remove the first element. That means this one. The DQ will be removing this first person from the queue. Next is front. Front allows us to get the first element from our queue. So right now, as first has been removed from here, so the first element would be this number 2 over here. So front operation will get us number 2 over here. Next is rear. Rear allows us to get the last element from the queue, that is this one. So we can get this one as well. So I hope this is clear to you that what queue is, how does it work and what are its operations. Now we'll be putting it inside a program and understanding it with the help of a program in Python. So let's get started. So I'll be taking the same option over here and I'll be writing press 1 to NQ, press 2 to DQ, press 3 to get front, press 4 to get rear, press 5 to exit, and here we will be closing our statement. Okay, we have these 5 options over here. We have, again, I'm taking the example of mini database on country names only. So first of all is press 1 to NQ. That means if we want to add an element, this will be the same thing that we have done previously. So what I'll do, I'll just take the same thing over here as well. That choice is equals to, we'll be taking the input from the user for our choice from 1 to 5. And if choice is 1, in that case, we will enter the name of the country we want to add. And after that, we will be appending it to our list. Right? Next thing that we are going to do is elif choice is equals to 2. Now elif choice is equals to 2 means that it will allow us to remove an item but not from the back. It should be removing it from the first, because we are because here our queue is following the principle of FIFO, that is first in first out. So first element should go out first. That means whenever there is a removal of any element, the first element will be removed first over here. So how that element could be removed, and we will be using our same method that we did previously, that if our list is empty, then in that case the first element cannot be removed, right? So we will be using our condition inside it, that if len, that means length of A, is equal to 0, in that case it will print the list is empty and no element can be removed. Else, so if the list is not empty, in that case, now here we will be not using the pop method, because pop always removes the last element. We will be using our delete method, that for delete we write del. With the help of the delete method, we can remove the first item from the list. We know that in the whole list, whatever our first item would be, it will be on index number 0. So we will be deleting whatever is there on our index number 0. So for that we will be writing del. What we need to delete? A, that is our list, on our list number 0 element. So whichever element is there on index number 0, that will be removed with the help of this delete. After this we will be printing our list as well. So we'll print it. Next we have over here is to get the front. That means to get the front value that we have, that is whatever value is there on our number 1. For that we will be writing elif choice is equal to 3. In that condition, we will be printing what? Print the first element in the queue is, I'll put a comma over here, and what will be our first element? The element which is on index number 0. So we will be writing L, and whatever element is there on our index number 0, that will get printed over here. Lastly, elif choice is equals to 4. So choice is equals to 4 means it will help us to display what is the last element inside our list. So we will be printing print the last element in the queue is, So this thing we have already done in our stack method, that how to fetch a last element. Here also we will be using the same method, that the name of our list is A. So we'll be writing A over here, and A inside our square brackets I will be writing -1, because last element we don't know how long the list is. So we cannot go with the positive indexing, but we definitely know that whatever our last element is, it lies on number -1 according to our negative indexing. So we'll be writing -1 over here. And after this, we will be giving our choice for breaking the loop. So elif choice is equals to 5. That means a person want to exit it. Then we will just break the loop over here. Else, if a person writes any other number other than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or writes any alphabet, any string over here, in that condition, we will be saying that it's an invalid input. So we'll print over here invalid input. Let's run and see what happens over here. So if I run this queue over here, it gives me MiniDB for country names. Press 1 to enqueue, press 2 to dequeue, press 3 to get front, press 4 to get rear, and press 5 to exit. So enter your choice. Let's try with number 2, that we want to delete something. It says that the list is empty and no element can be removed. Let's try with number 1. That is at a name of a country. So I'll be again writing India. And it says India. What if I'll exit it from here and rerun my program and write 4 over here, that without providing any element over here. If I write 4 over here, it gives me an error over here which says that it is out of range. Now again here also we need to provide with the same condition, that if the length of A is equals to 0, then we'll be printing some data. Else we will be doing this. So same thing we will be doing here, plus the same thing we will be applying with our stack method as well. So here I will be writing if length of A is equals to 0. In that case we will be writing the first element cannot be fetched as Q is empty, and else we will be applying this. Same thing we will be doing over here, and we will be writing, instead of first we will be writing the last element cannot be fetched as Q is empty. Same thing we will be doing with our stack, because yes, we want to make our program foolproof. We don't want any error, any chance of happening a single error in our program. So we'll be doing the same thing over here, that I'll be writing if length of A is equals to 0, it will say the last element cannot be fetched as stack is empty, and then we will be putting this print statement inside. So now if I run the queue once again and try to write number 4 over here, it gives me the last element cannot be fetched as Q is empty. So now it is working properly. All our methods are working properly over here. Let's try it once again over here with our other methods as well, because we have not yet tested the enqueue, dequeue, get front and get rear. So I'll be first starting with the enqueue. Enter the name of the country you want to add. So I'll be adding India. Again, I will be adding one more country. Again, one more country. Next is dequeue over here. Dequeue will remove our first element according to queue principle, that it should remove our India from here. So let's see if it is removing or not. So if I write 2 over here, it has removed India from here. Now we are left with Canada and USA. Third is get the front. The front element right now is Canada. So if I write 3, yes, it provides me with Canada. At the same time, if I write 4, it should provide me with the USA, because the last element of our queue is USA. Lastly, we have 5 to exit, but let's try any other number. Let's say I write 6. In 6, it says invalid input. That means that is also working properly. And lastly, 5 has exited from the loop. So guys, this was our program for queue. I hope what is stack and what is queue, what are the operations that can be performed with the help of stack and queue are clear to you, and you guys have no doubts and no questions. So stay connected guys, and I'll see you in the next session. Thank you.